at work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. I am your host. It is a new year, 2025. Happy New Year to all of you that are out there listening via the radio at 107.1 FM on the FM dial. We also want to thank those of you who are populating our social media streams at Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen and Kiss 107.1 FM. I hope that you all have had a very Merry Christmas. You guys have had a Happy New Year coming in. We are starting a new year, and I'm excited. We have with you all a very good show ahead of you that's going to be happening, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. This is a new year, so what are we going to be doing as we begin to prepare for this new year? Why don't you guys like, tag, and share this conversation with those who are out there in the family? We got started just a little bit late. Some technical difficulties in the house. Computers are great until they don't do what you want them to do. So happy New Year, happy New Year, happy New Year. So starting out this year, just doing a little bit of housekeeping. This year, we're going to make 365 days every single time we come together. We're going to make it Black History Month. That means we're going to share some fast facts as we did at the beginning of last year about what is good, what you need to know, what's happening. Some information that will keep the legacy and the history alive. To the first person I see in the social media stream, Miss Alma Ball Collier. Happy New Year to you, my dear friend. You know I love you, and I've hadn't had the opportunity to do that. So all of you that are out there, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And so we're going to begin the beginning of this year. I said I wanted to start by talking with Black business owners. I want to talk with those individuals that are out there this entire year. I'm excited all the way through March when we'll be sharing Black history makers. It is Women's History Month, so we'll be talking about sharing and engaging with Black women who are making history happen right now. And so we're carving out those conversations and discussions, and I'm excited. So you know how we start the show off. We always talk about what's on my mind. So we're going to get right into this thing. First of all, there were some conversations that I heard about the visas that are taking place. Some of you don't pay attention. Once the president is elected, you stop listening until it's the next time for you to vote 4 years later. But there's an interesting conversation that's taking place about these visas. Both Ramaswamy, and I think I got his name right on the first time, and Elon Musk, who spent millions of dollars helping Trump get elected. They have been creating some drama within the MAGA world. The MAGA right. We now see the spirit of elitism coming in, and they have a number of individuals that come in that are highly intelligent on these H1N or H1B visas. I think is what they call them in their educational visas, that when people come in, they have to have at least a bachelor's or higher to come in for these highly skilled jobs. And so they were saying that they need these visas to bring the best people in the world to the United States to get the work done, the smartest people in the world. And so MAGA right, the folks who voted them in, some of those from the hills of Kentucky and other places, some of those who live right there on Main Street in Saginaw and other places, have been getting a slap in the face because they've been concerned about the border. And so the question that makes it very clear is that this was never about the cost of eggs. It was never about the cost of flour or milk, but this was about who we're letting across these borders and who we're allowing into certain positions. They were tired of certain people who look like ourselves having certain positions, and this DEI thing had to end. What they did not realize is that they would then be on the chopping block as it relates to who is smart, who's intelligent. And we see ourselves as a great nation with very smart individuals, but those MAGA right folks got slapped in the face when they say, y'all not good enough. We need to bring other people in who are smart and skilled, which usually is a position that is saved for Black folk in this country. So it's kind of nice to see someone else get the brunt of that conversation, but it's very interesting nonetheless. So that's one thing, but I do want to get into a conversation that's taking place that's very interesting. Over the course of this weekend, I think it was this weekend, there was an opening of a new establishment. I think it's called Urban Air or something of that nature. And we saw that during their opening here in Saginaw, I was just like praying that I was watching something in Florida or somewhere else. Fights broke out. Kids started acting crazy. People were acting like they didn't have no sense. And these are things that we have seen before here in the city. And so there's been a great debate, a great conversation about who is to blame, and people are blaming parents and all of these other things. But the reality of the situation is that, you can raise your kids and do everything right as a parent, and your children can choose to do what you say, or they can make some other decisions. Now, what we also understand is that peer pressure and the influences outside your home in this day and age are greater than what parents say as they have them. As a matter of fact, your kids leave your home in the morning and they're with someone else for 9 hours of the day. The majority of their day is spent with other influences. And then they have to choose to do the right thing. But when we look at this aerial park, we want to take into consideration, this is nothing different than what we've seen before in the 80s and in the 90s. I know some of you remember growing up and not going to the fair anymore, because the reason you didn't go to the fair is because everybody was fighting. All fights would break out, and you were like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is crazy. And so they put the fair way out there where they knew that y'all weren't coming in Chesney. And so they said, we're not going to cancel this, but we're going to make sure that we add a little distance in between the people who are out there fighting. And you can get mad if you want to, but the facts of the matter, and the facts are the facts. And so we saw it happen with that. Someone else said they saw it happen at games. And so what's going to happen is that we're going to continue. They're going to make sure that they put those stipulations in place. We're going to put measurements. I hate that we have to be caged up like animals half the time with certain things in order for us to be able to move forward. But it is what it is. All right. But I have a wonderful lady that I'm going to have as we get into the meat of our conversation on today. Shout out to all of those individuals who are doing great things, everyone who is excited about what's happening this year. And so we're going to get to the meat of our conversation. I'm going to bring into, you all now see her. She's been sitting on the other side looking at me crazy. But I'm going to bring into the conversation a young lady by the name of Sierra Cruder. What is your maiden name?
Warren.
Sierra Warren. Some of you may have known her. She is now Sierra Cruder. We were able to see and partake in her wonderful wedding. Is this going on 2 years now?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in September.
Yeah, y'all know we be out there cyber stalking, just following everything, making no comments, but we looking at the pictures. So 2 years coming up, but I'm here with Sierra Cruder is the name that she goes by, in respect to her husband, because I had Mr. Jackson call me one time, not Mr. Cruder, but Mr. Jackson said, hey, her name is now Jackson. She is now married. So respect to your husband. We're certainly going to make sure that your name, Cruder, is the one that we'll use for today. We're going to be talking about the successes of entrepreneurship, the challenges of being an entrepreneur. You have a new book that we'll share. I want to really just inspire some individuals. And when I think about your story, you have always been someone that when I looked at what you were doing and followed your story, I was always inspired by. So I just want you to be just be at home today. Welcome to Straight Talk. You've been here before, but today you're going to be in a different capacity. So, hey, why don't you say hello to everyone out there from Straight Talk?
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm very excited to be here.
And so let's just get into this thing. I asked you when we were off air, because I didn't know if you were from Saginaw or not. I was like, I don't remember hearing you. And then all of a sudden you just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get into our conversation.
So originally, my name is Sierra Warren. I am 32 years old. I am from Pontiac, Michigan. And I got to Saginaw by way of Saginaw Valley State University.
Okay.
And that was in 2010. So I came here to go to school for social work. I got a scholarship at the university, and that's how I got to Saginaw.
What kind of scholarship?
It was a charter school scholarship. So I got that from Pontiac Academy of Excellence in Pontiac, and they paid for the first 2 years of tuition. And then because I did so well, they extended it for 2 more years. And that's how I got here.
Wow, that is absolutely okay. Great story. So you came here. Have you always been an entrepreneur? How has this journey of entrepreneurship come? Where did it come from? Is this were you hit by the bug, or what exactly took place?
You know what? That's funny that you asked that, because when I was 11 years old, I started baking. But at that time, I never knew that I would be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to help people, and I love older individuals. And that's what my mom did. You know, she worked with older individuals. She managed group homes and all of that. So I followed in her footsteps. And that's why I went to school for social work. I really wanted to help people, and I really wanted to service that population. But God placed a gift on the inside of me that I did not know I had until I was 11 years old.
So at 11 years old, what happens that sparks your attention, that kind of challenges you to kind of look at things differently? What takes place?
So my mom is a cook. She loves to cook. She's always in the kitchen, and she had to make a cake for a funeral. And she couldn't make the cake because she had to work. So I said, Mom, I'll make the cake for you. And she's like, what? Like, mind you, I'm 11 years old. So I'm like, Mom, you've had me in the kitchen. I follow the recipe. I got it. Long story short, I made the cake. Everybody loved it. And from that point on, family and friends were asking me to make them cakes. So my first cake was a German chocolate cake.
Oh, German chocolate. I love some German chocolate.
And you know what? Let me just say this. A lot of the older folks, you know, that's an older folk
That's
thing.
an old man cake.
I'm telling you. So they like, you know, even now I still get it. Is this from scratch? They couldn't believe that this 11-year-old was making these German chocolate cakes, and they tasted the way that they did. So from that point on, I continued to bake. I didn't know what I was doing, but I love the feedback. That's what really kept me going. People say, oh my God, this is so good. Can you make this? Can you make that? And over the years, it evolved to birthday cakes, wedding cakes, a bakery. Even opening the bakery, I didn't know what I was doing. So
okay, so at 11, you make your first German chocolate cake. So so you're making cakes for people at that time?
For family, for free too. Let me say that.
Come on, it wasn't because the cakes were so good. It was because they was free. Y'all know how we do. Hey, a free cake. We like, yo, oh yeah, that cake is good for free. No, but I'm messing with you. So when you started doing this, you then understanding that you got a scholarship, you went to school. You didn't go to school for entrepreneurship. You didn't go to school for business.
No. For baking,
none of the things, none of the things above. But you went to school. While you were in school, what happened to that passion? Because now you're doing schoolwork.
Yeah, you
have a passion for baking. I'm assuming, is it a passion at that point?
Absolutely, because at that point, you know, I'm 18 years old in Saginaw Valley. And actually what happened was a lady who had my desserts all the time. She said, I think you should sell these. They're really good.
Who was the lady? Come on, let's give a shout out.
I cannot remember her name.
Wow.
I cannot, but I do know that she was related to the Tyson Bay family in Pontiac, Michigan. So she said, you should sell this. So I created a flyer. Now I'm in the dorm room at Saginaw Valley, and I'm typing on the computer, Delicious Sweets by Miss C. At that point, it wasn't a business. This is just a flyer, and I'm selling this stuff for Thanksgiving. So I got 27 orders. This was in 2011. Okay. 27 orders. Now, that may not seem like a lot right now.
I mean, if I'm in school and I got work to do, like, how am I going to do 27?
27 whole orders. I remember being in my parents' kitchen on break. My dad went to work. He came home from work. He went to sleep. He went to work the next day. He came home from work the next day, and I was still in the kitchen doing these orders. I think I had their oven running for like 48 hours, but I got it done, and everybody loved it. So that was the birth of Delicious Sweets.
Delicious Sweets. Started in a dorm room in Saginaw Valley.
In a dorm room. Yes.
Okay. You was out there paying bills and getting your hair and nails done with the cakes. Let me sell a cake and some cupcakes so I can go get my hair and nails done.
I'm telling you, and I was working also, you know, so I was working on the weekends. I was baking. I was going to school. I got that from my mom, though. She's
Okay.
always been one of those people.
Industrious, very just moving,
Mhm.
making it happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you are done with school.
Yes.
So you plan to get a grown folks job, a
Yeah.
grown person's
Yeah.
job. Where
Yeah.
did you work?
So I worked for Packard Group Inc. I actually moved from Saginaw back to Pontiac with my parents when I graduated, and I was a manager of a group home.
Okay.
So I managed the group home. I did all the ins and outs of that, and I did that for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
All while still baking on the side. At this point, I'm fulfilling orders every week. I'm doing all the things, but I'm still working my 9 to 5. And then after about 2.5 years, I moved back to Saginaw.
Okay. So why the move back to Saginaw?
Because I was looking for something different, but still in the same field, working with older adults.
Okay.
So I took a job with Brookdale Senior Living. I was their hiring supervisor. I had like 30 something staff. I hired, fired, trained, all of that stuff.
Okay.
For the older adults.
So you were used to being a people manager. So
Oh,
working
yes.
with people, managing people,
Mhm.
Scheduling, those types of things.
Yes.
This was something that you did in your secular profession before you
Mhm.
decided to make the jump into this wonderful world of entrepreneurship.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So when did you decide, okay, I'm doing this for this company. I'm not really maximizing my real potential.
Mhm.
There's a lot left for me to be able to do. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I enjoy this, but I think I might be able to, what was the reason and the motivation for the switch from working with
Mhm.
for someone else
Yeah.
to really just take the bull by the horns and work for yourself?
I'm glad you asked me that question because I was waking up at 2 and 3 in the morning and I'm doing cakes before work. I'm dropping off cakes on my breaks. I'm going home from work and I'm doing cakes. And I'm like, Lord, if you really want me to do this, there has to be a better way for me to do it. So he told me to quit my job.
He came, he knocked on the door and said, Sierra, quit your job. No, I mean, no, and this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
I want to really just kind of make sure that we have this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people out there who have businesses
Mhm.
and they're in that place where, I'm working overtime. This is a second job.
Yeah.
I really would like to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But when do I move from this place that this is a side job to making this side job my main gig? This is now my main thing. And many times people struggle when to make that decision. So when you say God told you to quit your job, like what does it sound like? What does it feel like? How did it show up? Because there's somebody else that's in that same position.
Yeah.
And so I want you to answer that question for them.
Okay, so let me say this first. I had built a clientele.
Okay.
And I was doing pop-up shops in Saginaw 2-3 times a week. And I still was doing this business, even though I was working a full-time, very demanding job. So I already had a clientele. I knew that if I quit my job, I could still make money, but it was scary because the 9 to 5 was guaranteed money.
You ain't got to worry about it. All you got to do is clock them hours.
I'm telling you.
You got paid time off. You got benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Not
benefits,
only.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm going to take the benefits.
Yes.
Benefits are a serious thing because you don't have to pay for those. Hey, they come out. It's a small percentage. You don't even notice it. You get sick. What happens? You got either a 401k or some type of investment for the future.
Yeah.
To leave a job that you have that gives you all of those things, to step out on what I'll say is stepping out on faith and trusting God in that process.
Absolutely.
Is very challenging. So how did God say this to you? How did you know that this was what he wanted you to do? And tell me what you did when you first heard it. Okay.
So I was praying that God would tell me how I could do this easier because I was working myself like crazy. Like I said, I was getting up early, I was staying up late, and I had a lot of clientele. I was busy. So I'm like, okay, now I need to take the leap. But I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you and say I wasn't. So once I heard God tell me, not like he didn't call me on the phone and say, Sierra, quit your job.
The clouds didn't part and he didn't say,
No.
Sierra, quit your job.
No.
That didn't what did it come
No.
like? Tell us what it sounded like.
So I heard it. But sometimes it could be your own thoughts, So one day I woke up, it was on a Wednesday, I'll never forget. And I had been wrestling with quitting my job. And I had already wrote the letter, but I hadn't turned it in. And I woke up out of my sleep and I heard, God did not give you the spirit of fear. So that day I put my resignation in and I went full time. Okay. And that was in 2018.
So 2018, you hear the call, you're certain that this is what you're to do. Mm-hmm. And did you have a prayer warrior prayer session? Did you call everybody? Or did you just walk by faith? No, this is real, because some people are like, well, how did you know that it was time? Okay, yes, you heard the voice, mm-hmm. but what else gave you an indication that it's time and that you can really sustain yourself? Yeah. Because I'm a firm believer that you have to work your hustle until your dream becomes a reality. Mm-hmm. So, you got to have a job that pays the bills, that does what, and you have to do this other thing mm-hmm. until you can replace one, or one grows into a place that it's able to replace the other. Mm-hmm. How did you manage that transition?
I'm glad you said that, because I believe that too. And that was one of the reasons why it was easier, because I had a clientele and I was getting regular orders and I was putting myself out there, and people were constantly ordering things, and they had been for 5-6 years. So I believe that if I really dedicated all of my time to this, then I could make this work.
So this wasn't a harebrained decision, knee-jerk decision, but you actually put 5-6 years into this work.
Absolutely.
You built a clientele.
Yes.
And so that meant that there was a period of time in being an entrepreneur, and we're going to take our first commercial break, but I want to say this. There was a period of your beginning as an entrepreneur, starting your business, mm-hmm. that it was very uncomfortable.
Oh, yes.
Because you had to still get up, hit the clock for that 9 to 5.
Yes.
And then you still had to come back home and lose some sleep and stay awake. Mm-hmm. When we come back from this commercial break, I want to talk about what is your why, because I'm a firm believer that your why is the thing that wakes you up in the morning. It's mm-hmm. the thing that keeps you up late at night.
Yes.
It is the thing that you cannot get away from. Mm-hmm. And so I want to talk about your why when we come back from this commercial break. Those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking with Sierra Crudup. She is the creator, founder, director, CEO, and baker extraordinaire of Delicious Sweets. We're going to be right back with her with more conversation. Stick away, don't go away. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Hi, I'm Terry Pruitt. It has been my honor to serve as president of the NAACP Saginaw branch over the past few years. I spent much of my adult life advocating on behalf of the citizens of Saginaw County, both professionally and on a volunteer basis. As a longtime champion of equity and fairness, my experience has led me to the belief that we cannot and should not disengage from our democracy. We've demonstrated again and again that when we vote, we make a difference in the outcome of elections. We simply can't afford to concede our political power to others. We must vote and hold elected officials accountable for decisions and actions they take. As the NAACP continues to fight to protect voting rights, each of us needs to participate in our democracy by voting. For information about the NAACP, call our office at 989-752-0614.
RocketGrabPlus.com. 2024 may be over, but the deals certainly aren't. It's time to say New Year, New You with these epic deals. Like $225 toward the purchase of a wedding dress at Wedding Days Bridal, a 1-year museum membership to the Frankenmuth Historical Museum and Michigan Heroes Museum, or $200 toward your next tattoo at Silver Ink Tattoo in Bay City. Head on over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag an incredible deal before it's too late.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Versity Blood Centers of Michigan invite you to join the fight against sickle cell disease by giving the gift of your blood donation at any Versity Blood Center location or blood drive. The RO blood type is normal but extremely rare and is invaluable for patients with sickle cell disease. RO donors have special markers on their red blood cells. And RO blood is only available as a result of the generosity of people like you. As an RO donor, you are special. You serve a unique need, and you have the power to save the lives of sickle cell patients in your community. Stop by any Versity Blood Center location and log on to versity.org/Michigan. That's Versity, BERSITI.org/Michigan for info on upcoming blood drives. Become a voluntary RO blood donor and help save lives in your community.
hope.
Game on, Mid-Michigan. Coach Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. If you've been fumbling around town in a car you hate, punt it, because this month you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. See, all I want to do is watch football, but I can't relax until I kick off the new year. So get your head in the game, and you could drive home in a car you love for just $1 down. That's a touchdown for not much down. Plus, at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. We don't leave anything up to a coin toss. My team has a playbook of solutions. We work hard to help you find the car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to feel like a winner, but your old ride makes you feel like a loser, punt it and touchdown for just $1 down in a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this good won't last long and it won't go into overtime. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my MVP rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $1 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2025.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text TYPE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text TYPE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text TYPE to 200-300. That's TYPE to 200-300. TYPE to 200-300.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with more of Straight Talk. We are here with the baker extraordinaire, Sierra Crudup of Delicious Sweets. Before the break, I asked you a question. What is your why? Every individual that whenever you make a decision to do something, when you decide to start a business, whatever it is that is driving and causing you to be excited, you need to know, what is your why? What is your why, Sierra?
You know what? Delicious Sweets is my ministry. So that is my why. There was many times I tried to get away from it. I tried to stop making cakes. I said, after I closed the first location, I said I would never open another bakery. And it kept me up at night. People kept placing orders. People kept saying, where are you? Can I order? Why? Where are you? Why did you close? And
but what is the thing about this ministry? It's a ministry. You said that.
Absolutely.
Why do you use the term ministry?
Because at first I thought I was just making cakes for people.
Okay.
And then as I started to get to know my customers and build relationships with people, I realized that it wasn't just the cake that's making these people so happy or the smiles on their face. It was the experience that they get when they're in my presence, when they're at Delicious Sweets, when they get something that they love that's a part of a special memory to them. So that seeing the customer excited and happy and remembering that Delicious Sweets did my wedding cake. And every time I think about my marriage, I think about the cake that I had, those things right there. Or people come in all the time and they're not feeling good. And a simple, how are you today? I haven't seen you in a while. Or to know them by name, to build those relationships with people. That's where I get the most satisfaction from.
I want to celebrate you on something you just said. Initially, it was just making cakes. Then it became bigger than making cakes. You realized that there was a purpose.
Yes.
And the place that came out was in customer service, realizing that each customer was an individual, and feeding or providing for that customer what you felt that they needed in that moment. We live in a time right now where customer service is a dying art. People don't believe in it. They just think that you're supposed to come in, you're supposed to buy because you're a Black business, that they don't have to greet you, that they don't have to be professional, that they can give you a product that's less than, and you should just support me because I'm Black business. And when you stop doing so, it's problematic.
Absolutely.
As a young woman, because you're a relatively young woman, how did you understand the importance, and how important is customer service to you?
Customer service is everything. I tell my employees, if we don't have customers, we don't have a business. So I don't take it for granted that people decide to spend their money with me.
Say that again.
I never take it for granted that people decide to spend their money with me. And it never was about the money for me. I'm excited when I see you, and I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
And, some of my customers, I see things have happened in their lives and I give them a hug, or, it's about the experience. But I think, especially as a small business owner, sometimes we can be entitled and we can feel like people are supposed to support us
because you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're a Black business.
Yeah.
But they keep going all over town buying. I mean, honestly, this is, you said it best. Like you realize that people don't have to patronize your business.
No, you don't.
It's a privilege.
Absolutely.
All right. So as you are now, you're opening up. Where was your first location when you said, I'm done bootlegging in the home? There's a law that allows folks to cook and to bake. I can't remember what
the
that
cottage food law.
Okay, so I'm the cottage food law has now served its purpose.
Absolutely.
That means that for those of you who are out there and you're saying, like, I want to start, but I gotta have this. There is a law that actually allows you as a budding entrepreneur, as a cook, as a chef, as a baker, to use your home to be able to create those things. So go out there and check it out. So if that's the thing that's been hindering you, you can start in your own home. And it's something it's almost an antiquated law, but it's still on the book. So just use it to your advantage. When the cottage food law was not cottage in, but anyway, the cottage food law had come and it's run its course. How did you know it was time? Was it because you got flour here and sugar here and milk, no place to put the stuff? What was it that said, okay, now it's time to make the leap?
So once I really realized what I was doing and it became a business and I knew I wanted to continue with it, I bought an open sign. And I said, at year 5, I want to open my first bakery.
Wait a minute. So before the business, you bought the open sign.
Yes.
I need y'all to understand how this principle, we always talk about faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like. Before you get the business, absolutely. Thank you, Ebony Donald, for putting it in the chat stream, the cottage food law. Before you get the business, your thoughts and your mind is positioning you for something greater. Yeah. So you started by an open sign. An open sign is only for a place in public where people can see that you're open for business.
Yes.
These are small steps that are building you toward a greater step of independence, right?
Yes.
All right. So you buy the open sign, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. So I bought this open sign because I was believing for it. And like you said, faith, I honestly can say that I've built my entire business on faith. It was all faith. But I bought this open sign and I was in college and I was baking in my mom's house on the weekends. So I bought this open sign. I said, by year 5, I want to open a bakery. And I opened the bakery by year 5, and I didn't even realize it.
That it was year 5.
It was year 5. Yes. And I opened that one in Bay City, Michigan. That was in 2015.
All right. So you engage. I need people to understand something. See, we always relegate faith to people in a church house.
Yeah.
Or we relegate faith to a place of worship. When the reality of it is, faith is a principle that is in the earth.
Yes.
And if you use it and you operate in it, it will manifest. That's why many of those top companies out there, they're taking 10% of their proceeds and they're sowing it into communities. They're giving it to organizations because they understand that there's certain principles that exist that operate whether you're a believer or not.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love about this story is that you are using your words and they're setting markers. By year 5, I want to be opening my business. And now you see the fruition of that, because what it does is it gives you a track record in your mind and your spirit that this date is coming. You don't even you didn't realize it at the time that you had actually made and done what you had spoken a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you opened up the first business. Then what happens?
I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I had no clue. So I was working at Brookdale. I hired some people to work. I would bake before work, after work. I would go there after work, but that wasn't realistic. I believed it was, but it wasn't realistic.
I think what you realized was that you were a hustler, but you hadn't become a businesswoman.
Hello.
And I tell people that all the time. There are a lot of people who make a lot of money in their hustle.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make them a businesswoman or a businessman.
Yeah.
And so there was a difference. You didn't know what you were doing, but you knew how to hustle.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
That's why it didn't work. And I didn't have a plan. I had no idea what I was doing. And I literally was going off of what I thought was best. So I closed that location after 1 year. And I said I was never opening another bakery. I'm done. I'll get a ice cream truck and turn it into a dessert truck. And I'll just be mobile. And I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Okay, but it didn't work because your why was continually moving.
Yes, the people wouldn't stop. They just wouldn't let me quit. And I love that. It's like when there is something that you are supposed to do, if it is in your purpose, you can try to run from it. You can try to hide, but it's no running from it. You have to submit to it and hopefully walk in it.
That's awesome. So how do we eventually get to Saginaw? We get to Saginaw, then we're in, Bay City, then we're in Pontiac. Let's share that story.
So I had customers in Saginaw. I was invited to Saginaw Expo to do some samples of desserts. I did that in 2018. There was a lady by the name of Noelle who had Falafel Hut, and she was like, "Girl, this cake is so good. You need to come into the marketplace." And I was looking at her like, "What?" She's like, No, girl, there's a place right across from me. Come on, you should." And I thought about it and I said, man, I'm baking a lot. I'm doing all of this out of my apartment. Like, I need somewhere. I need a place to call home where people can come to and buy their stuff instead of meeting me in Speedway and meeting me in CubeSmart and, all of those things. So I put in the application at SVRC. Within 2 months, I was in there.
What I love about how the process of SVRC is that it gives you an opportunity without the tax of the overhead to really get in and to see if you have a viable business.
Yes.
All right. So we know that you have grown. We know that you went from Saginaw to Pontiac.
Yeah.
And at one point, how many locations did you have?
I had 4 at one point.
And you got to think about managing these things.
Yes.
A pandemic hits, which basically shutters restaurants.
Yes.
But you find yourself yet in business. You've kind of come back to home base. We want to talk about how do you know when to say when, and when you got to take the L for an L or for a lesson, not loss, but a lesson, and begin to move on. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. We're also going to talk about her new book that she has, Faith in Action, 30 Days to Entrepreneur Excellence. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Sierra Cruda.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Covenant Healthcare is where the next generation is born. We're also the birthplace of innovation, advanced treatments, and hope. With more than 500 physicians across specialties, we're the most preferred health system. Learn more about our next generation extraordinary care at CovenantHealthcare.com. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
Game on, Mid-Michigan. Coach Ryan Wasik here from Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. If you've been fumbling around town in a car you hate, punt it, because this month you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. See, all I want to do is watch football, but I can't relax until I kick off the new year. So get your head in the game, and you could drive home in a car you love for just $1 down. That's a touchdown for not much down. Plus, at Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. We don't leave anything up to a coin toss. My team has a playbook of solutions. We work hard to help you find the car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to feel like a winner, but your old ride makes you feel like a loser, punt it and touchdown for just $1 down in a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this good won't last long and it won't go into overtime. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my MVP rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $1 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2025.
Every year, when the weather turns life-threatening, people seek emergency shelter at Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. At Rescue Ministries, they find hot meals and a warm, safe place to sleep. A hot, nutritious meal costs just $2.98 and is often the first step towards a new life. With your support, Rescue Ministries will continue to provide safe shelter and nutritious meals for our neighbors facing homelessness and struggling to survive this winter. Please go to rescuemidmichigan.org and donate today.
The Meijer 7 for $7 sale is back for a limited time. Pay $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more on participating items, like bags of avocado minis, 1.25 liters of Coca-Cola products, plus deposit where applicable, Dannon or Chobani Greek yogurt, Kraft mac and cheese, and Meijer brand frozen vegetables. Save a good deal more with the Meijer 7 for $7 sale. That's the good life. Exclusions apply. See the Meijer app for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This March, Great Beginnings Winery in downtown Midland is closing its doors for good. Stock up on your favorite wines and merch while you still can. Everything must go, and we mean everything. Right now, you can get a gift voucher for just $10. And yes, you can use your vouchers on anything and everything. Merchandise, food, wine, you name it. Don't miss out on this fantastic deal. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com to get yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878. 800-948-7878.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why
why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GAME to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GAME for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GAME for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, it's Bridge with Joe Credit Union. Ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Welcome to our cash back era. With the Jolt Ignite Cashback Visa, you'll earn unlimited 2% cash back on every dollar you spend. 2% back on everything. At Jolt, we believe that every swipe should come with a little hype. Jolt Ignite Cashback Visa. Are you ready for it? Jolt Credit Union, a better way of banking. Terms and conditions may apply. Federally insured by the NCUA.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
All right, we're back with Sierra Crudup of Delicious Sweets, and I want to end this session with something: faith in action. This is a book that she's created. She thought she was just going to be a baker. She found out her baking was her ministry, and now her ministry is being produced in words. Why would you, a baker, create a book? And I want to read what it says on the back of this. All right.
Okay.
It says, I may not be able to change the world with a cake, but I can make it a better place by baking up a little love. Love that phrasing. Why a book?
I just want to help people. Maybe because I've made all the mistakes. If you can read something, or if I can tell you something and share something with you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes, that's really what my goal is.
Okay. Before the break, we talked about sometimes you got to know when to take a nail. And shout out there, you see his name, Delphonics out there. Go ahead, Sister Crudup. That's your bae out there giving you a shout out, supporting you. So we certainly want to thank you. He's doing great work as well, and we'll have to bring you guys in together talking about the process. But as we look at this, we talked about sometimes you got to know when to take an L.
Yeah.
And I made the distinction. It's not a loss if we learn a lesson.
Yeah.
So it maybe we got to learn, say know when to take in and learn that lesson.
Yeah.
So you were at 1.4 different locations.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic also hits.
Yes.
All of these things change. You are now in a place. How many stores do you have open right now?
Right now, I'm in one location.
Okay.
With two stores.
In one location.
One location.
All right. There's a reason why I wanted to say that, because many people are like, oh man, Sierra falling off. But no, it's understanding the time, the season, and what it is that you're trying to do now. What people don't realize, and this is why you got to move in silence, is sometimes when you consolidate, it allows you to put your energy into something else so that you can use that energy to catapult to this next thing. You got some things on the horizon. We've been talking off air. Don't share everything with everybody. But as you look at where you are today and you look at the L's that you had to take, the losses that became lessons, what would you like to share with those who are listening as it relates to faith in action?
Wow. I have to think about what I want to share. First off, faith in action. Like I say, I just really want to help people. I believe that there is information in the devotional that will help business owners, because a lot of times being an entrepreneur is glamorized, especially on social media. People feel like you can quit your job, start this business, you're going to be a millionaire, it's going to be great. And that is absolutely false. I'm going to say that again. That's false. It doesn't happen that way. I've had many locations. I've had to close many locations. And the last one I closed, that one felt really good to close.
Okay.
So when you were saying you have to know when to take those L's and those become lessons, at some point in business, you have to pivot and you have to know when it is time for you to move on. And that doesn't always mean that it's a bad thing. I went from last year, I had 3 locations. I'm down to 2 inside of one place. And that was the best decision I could have ever made.
Okay. Because we're going to talk about them too. Now, she mentioned the word devotion in this book. Now, when I ran into Sierra, I hadn't seen you in a little bit because I've been trying to stay away from you because them craving cookies, they get me, y'all. And I'll go in there and I'll buy a whole pack of cookies and be like, I can't eat these and have to give them away. because I just can't do it because they are so good and I eat all of them. But I came in, I ran into you like, hey, I got a book, and we were talking. I'm like, okay, you have a book, like, well, a book on recipe. I'll say it's a book on recipes.
That's what you said.
Yeah, is it a recipe book?
Yeah.
And you were like, no, not a recipe book. It's a book on, just take it, read it. And I told you, I was like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to read it in one night.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the book and I sat down with it and I read it. Now, what I love about this was that it was something different than what I anticipated. You opened up the book with the scripture that I govern my life by, Proverbs 16:3. Commit your work unto the Lord and your thoughts will be established.
Yeah.
And as I went through the book, you have all of these key principles that you've learned during your time, how to manage your time, being authentically who you are, and how important that is to your brand. You need a mentor because most of us don't know what we're doing. We out here just faking it till we make it. Overworked is not an achievement. There's importance in terms of being productive and not being busy. Why this book?
Well, when I first became an entrepreneur, I didn't know what I was doing. And there were so many different things that I went through, and I never thought it would be what it was. I didn't think I would have to close locations. I didn't think I would have some financial troubles. I didn't know I needed help with my time management. I didn't know that overworked wasn't an achievement. I thought it was everything to be overworked. So there was just so many different things that I didn't know. So I wanted to put that in something where people can read it and it will be an easy read so that it could help them and let them know that there is hope and there is a way that you can do this and be successful.
Okay, so faith in action, and on the cover, you have 30 days to entrepreneur excellence, Sierra Crudup, vision, bills, fear of growth, doubt, worry. How can someone get their hands on this book? It is a wonderful book. It also has a place where not only do you give the principle, but then you give a place where people can write out and work along through the fear or through the situation with you. How can they pre-order this book? I know that there is a book release that's coming in the beginning of February, but how can people pre-order?
Right now, the book is on Amazon. There's also a link on my Facebook page to order the book. And then, like you said, there will be a book launch to come where I'll be having the book signing.
All right. So I am so glad every time we connect, we people don't realize that we spend some time chopping it up. I'm excited about the metrics for your future year and the things that you're looking to do. What is one of the things that people need to look out for? Delicious sweets or something that you want to leave them with that they're going to be seeing in this new year?
Oh, that that one is hard. I don't know. You told me not to give them.
Yeah, we're not giving that one away. We're going to save that one.
Okay. Well, I will say I do have a new podcast coming out, and it is called Fresh Baked Dreams. So you can be on the lookout for that. And it's just going to be giving tips about being an entrepreneur, talking about my journey, and giving hope to anyone who aspires to level up in their life.
It's time to level up, y'all. Level up. Level up. No, I love it. So those of you, and so as we continue, I want to thank you for being here with us today, Sierra. I'm looking forward to working with you and pushing that next door open. For those of you who are out there, we're going to do more conversations with entrepreneurs. We have a number of people that are going to be coming in, sharing their stories, sharing about how they're going to go. That's right, Ebony Donald. Let's Go podcast. One of the things that I want to tell you that is going to be integral to your success, and those that are listening, Sierra understands that her baking may be good, but what she puts a mandate on is great customer service. And every single time that I've come in with all of the people that work with you in both locations here, even when you were at the Saginaw Mall, what you never lacked was customer service and customer engagement. And so I want to thank you for doing Black business with Black excellence. So you're always got a friend here. And as you begin to plan out that next detail for your book release, make sure you come back by Straight Talk and give us some more insight. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We thank all of you that are out there for your time, your patience, for continually listening in. Once again, this is the first show of the year. Happy New Year to you. We are going to select a platform of excellence for our community to engage, to be empowered, and to move forward in the spirit of excellence. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views